Hello guys, this is Lance from Switzerland. I'm showing you in this tutorial on how to get started with traps. We are jumping right into it. You need for traps, you need two things. You need wood and you need stone basically. So I'm going down one level in my super awesome fort and I'm going to the workshops. I press B for building, W for workshops, and I go down to the mechanics workshop, which is located here. It's the small T. I build it, and as long as I have this mechanics workshop and the carpenter on the above level, I'm good to go to build some traps. What I do now is I go to the preferences of the mechanics workshop with Q and I add a new task and I tell him to make rock mechanics. Mechanics are used to set up these traps so in order when someone steps over it that is hostile, they snap and capture the invader in the cage. So I tell him to make rock mechanics. I tell him also to repeat this task because I have a lot of wood and I can use this fairly good. So someone with the labor mechanic will come now and construct some. If there is no one coming, I have to check in Dwarf Therapist, which is an easy tool, whether someone has it enabled or not. So he is creating right now some mechanics. I have to tell my carpenter though to create some cages, some wooden cages. So I go to the carpenter's workshop, I go for Q, which is building preferences, and I go down to make wooden cage, and I just tell him, please make several cages. As you can see, the first mechanism is here, and what I'm doing right now is I place the trap, which is using a mechanism, and then I place as well a cage into the trap. So the trap has to be loaded with the cage, and every time someone steps in, the cage is removed with the person or the animal in it, and it needs to be refilled. So mechanisms you just need one for traps, but cages you need several in case they go off and be triggered. So I'm going to hit B now. I'm going all the way down to capital T, which is for traps and levers. So I hit capital T, and I use this cage trap here. The stonefall trap, the other traps, just to explain it real quick, is a stonefall trap is just letting a stone basically fall over one of your victims. Sounds cool. It's not that strong. It tends to be a little bit weak, and the foes just trigger several traps before they even die sometimes, and it uses a lot of place, and it's a very simple trap. The weapon trap is basically a hole that you fill up with weapons like spears and swords and everything, but you need the appropriate material for that, so that falls flat as an initial defense. Weapon traps are quite good if you fill them with the appropriate weapons. A lever is used to trigger certain stuff. It's not really a trap, it's just used for taking bridges in and out, and to use floodgates to block water out, or to let it in, to remote steer pumps and everything. A pressure plate is a similar thing to the lever pretty much. It is something that when someone steps on it with a certain pressure, it will trigger something that automatically happens then afterwards. So what you could do is you could store some magma here, and as soon as someone steps over the pressure plate here, you could open a floodgate and all the magma comes out, or whatever. Your fantasy is the limit, pretty much. I have explained you the cage trap already. That's a mechanism that is having a cage loaded, and the upright spear spike trap is pretty much the same thing as a weapon trap. If you ask me, it's just with spears. I might stand corrected, but you can do that in the commentaries below. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to build some cage traps. So I go to cage trap, and I can place them now because I have mechanisms. Place enter, enter, and another, and another, and another. So I'm going down one level, clear his jobs to show you, so he has some time to do that. But what's going to happen is he's going to take one of these, put it on here, and then it's going to turn dark green. And afterwards, someone is bringing a wooden cage and put it here. What's a little bit weird about cages is they are stored in the animal stockpile. That is something that's hard to figure out the first time. But it just is like that. I can show you that if you press P for stockpile and you use animal stockpile, A for animal, and you place it here, you will notice that they're taking everything out of the workshop and just place the empty cages there. That's also the place where caged up victims will end up. Okay, so this will cover you for a big part of your defense, because normally there's just common ambushes of goblins with 5 or 6 goblins and whatever. However, if there are sieges, there are a lot more goblins, and you may need to trap the whole entrance above and below and everything, which is not really a problem because your dwarves can walk over these traps without any problems. So the final thing that I want to show you right now is if anything fails, you might want to have a bridge that is protecting you, and you can close down the fort and just hope for that you don't need anything from the outside, because this is going to lock you in as well. So we are going to remove these traps here. I just leave these two so you can see how they are built, and we go into the B for building menu and then go down all the way to bridges, the bridge, right? And I want my bridge to be that size. Okay, what you can see right now is the bridge is 2 squares, 4 squares, and it says here the bridge retracts. What that means is if you trigger the bridge with a lever or a pressure plate or whatever, the bridge is going to disappear, but it's not going to block the entrance. If you tell the bridge, although, to raise in a certain direction, it will create a wall that completely walls off your fortress. But be aware that dragons, for instance, if a dragon shows up with a fire breath, it's going to take some time till that happens, but it can happen. It will simply burn down your bridge if it is made out of wood, for instance. Something that happened to me, and I lost instantly 150 dwarves. Funny thing, but it happens. Okay, so the bridge is here, and I need to tell now what kind of bridge it is. You cannot build it and change the whether it's retracting or going up here afterwards. You need to do it now. Okay, and you can do that with the raise direction. If you press W, it raises upwards. If I press D, it raises downwards, which is not happening here. It's X actually. And S for the right and W for the left. What I need here, it needs to raise to the left side. Okay, so where the arrow is pointing is where your bridge should basically build your wall. Okay, so I press W, press A. I'm sorry. So it says raises in this direction. I hit enter, and I need 3 siltstone to build this. So the bridge is made out of rock. And now an architect is coming and will place the bridge here. He will design it, and then someone else will build it, or maybe the same person. Now what you need as well for this bridge is to have a lever, so I can make sure that if some aggressor is coming in, I can raise this bridge anytime. So I'm going to B, I press capital T for levers and traps, and I built this lever here with the letter L, and a lever is using a mechanisms is the stuff that we built for our cage traps, so this is going to fit perfect. I'm going to put the lever in here into my meeting area because there are a lot of dwarfs hanging out there all the time, so I can make sure that the lever is pulled fast in case of emergency. I press enter, I use the siltstone mechanic, go out, and let it run. I need to wait till the bridge and the lever is finished, and I'm going to pause the video until that is done. Okay guys, we're back, and you see that the traps have been built. They have been filled with cages. The lever is finished and the bridge is just now being built. As you can see, these 4 O's there are indicating that the bridge is in construction right now, and this dwarf is building it. Alright, the bridge is finished, and what we are doing now is we link up the lever to this bridge, which is pretty simple. What you are just doing is you press Q for set building task preferences, and then you go over the lever. You can add a new task, and then you say link up a bridge, which is the first option. You press B, enter assign, and then you need 2 mechanisms to link up the lever with the bridge again. So I use these 2 remaining mechanisms, and what's happening now is someone is going to work on the lever and someone is going to work on the bridge, as you can see here. Alright, he finishes work on the bridge. He's going to grab another mechanism and goes down now to the lever. The distance from the lever to the bridge does not mean anything. You can do that over the whole map, and whenever he has finished it, as he did right now, you can press Q, go over the lever anytime, A for add a new task, and hit capital P for pull the lever. This is a key that you know by yourself pretty soon, because you're going to use it a lot if you use levers and all that stuff. Okay, what we do is we pull the lever. We're going to add that as a task, and what's going to happen is someone is pulling the lever. Bam! Bridge is in, and there's a wall now here. To illustrate that, I can show you the awesome stone sense, which is in the lazy new pack as well. And you can see now the gap here is closed. I tell them to pull the lever again. Oh, sorry. Pull the lever. And as you can see, the bridge is coming down quite nicely. So if there is a goblin invasion, drop your bridge or just let those goblins walk into your traps. Problem is, the bridge may be making you safe, but it is not an everlasting solution, because you need to get out from time to time, and if your bridge is up, no one will trade with you. Alright, that covers the basic defense with traps and bridges, and I hope if you have any questions, you don't hesitate to ask them in the commentary below. Thank you for your attention, and until next time.